3 continuance. Introduction of the planning board members, Madison Pixley, Chair, Christina Brodor, Pat Coyne, David Demers, and John Matthews. John Matthews wasn't present for the original application, so he's going to sign a Mullins rule.
I have watched the tape or recording
Great.
on YouTube.
Okay,
And I've also reviewed
great,
some of the minutes that were pertinent to it.
great. Thank you.
Okay. I'm going to sign this document now.
Yep.
Okay.
Please. Our statement of authority, the planning board is established under chapter 40A of the general laws of Massachusetts and acts in compliance with chapter 40A under the zoning bylaws of the town of Hampden, chapter 41 governing the submission and approval of plots of proposed subdivisions, and the rules and regulations governing the subdivision of land in Hampden, Massachusetts. On legal notice, Hampden Planning Board will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, July 26, 2023 at 6:45 PM in the Townhouse, 625 Main Street, Hampden, Mass. On the application of Austin Graham of Graham Construction for a special permit under section 7.542 of the Hampden zoning bylaw for a common driveway to provide access to 3 adjoining lots owned by the applicant located in Highland Circle and South Munson Road, lots 45, 46, and 47. Information related to this application is on file in the town clerk's office and is available for review by the public during normal business hours. For the board, Madison Pixley, Chair of the Hampden Planning Board, published in the Wilbraham Hampden Times, July 6th and July 13th, 2023. So I think where we left it was that you're waiting for a drainage report.
Yes,
So where are you guys at with that?
yeah, 90% done.
90% done?
Didn't you get anything from? Didn't give you?
Who's doing it?
Kept saying Bob. and
Bob.
Bob who though? I don't know who Bob.
Well, it doesn't matter, but
He's out of Connecticut Engineering Company. And Bob, what's his name too, is doing the,
Caffarelli?
yes, what's the name? The woman who works with him, I forgot.
I don't know. I just know Bob Caffarelli.
They did all the septic tests and all that is already done.
Okay.
And they're just doing, I think, the designs now.
Okay.
It's about 90% done now.
Okay.
So I would think, well, I don't know what the next meeting day is gonna be, but by that time they should be ready.
okay, so we have to sign a continuance.
He didn't give you the stuff.
No, that your wife said I would have it, but I don't. But I sent him I did send her a copy of Ty and Bond's peer review and everything in there that related is
Okay.
required in that drainage.
So I think that's what they were working on finalizing.
So it needed soil calculations, the drains, all of that was in the
Yes,
peer
did all the
review.
tests on perk, tests. on all
Okay.
the stuff.
So when do you think we should continue it to?
What's your dates? I'm not
We
sure.
only have 2 left.
January?
Oh, it has to be next year.
I'm kind of serious.
Well, Ty and Bond has to still
Yeah.
review it
Oh,
all.
yeah, so we should go a little further, right?
Well, we only have 2 meetings left,
I know, of this year. So
right?
that's what I'm saying. I was curious with January,
Yeah, I think you're right.
January or February. I mean, we don't, I just hate for you to have to come back if you have to just keep.
I don't care.
continuing it.
I'll come back 100 times.
I know, but
Yeah, but
it's work for.
I know, but let's say February.
we're almost there.
All right, let's do February 8th.
Exactly, it's not far away.
Oh, not February 8th, February 12th.
Well,
February 12th.
I will put it in. Can you just? The only problem is, when you sign it, I'll mail you one because we're out of
I'll drop it.
paper.
I'll drop it off in your mailbox. I'm already home.
It's even worse, she knows where exactly where I live.
Okay,
Like
What time? Same time?
6:30, please.
Okay, perfect. Space.
so even though we're meeting February 12th, I should have it emailed. Can they PDF it to me?
Yes.
Like-
Make sure they do. it.
Okay.
Everything should be able to be electronic now.
Are we ready for a motion or do I have to wait till we finish? All right.
She do.
I'm okay.
Go for it.
I move that we continue public hearing case 2023D to February 12th, 2025 at 6:30 PM.
I'll second that.
In favor?
Aye.
Great. See you next year.
Okay, you'll be good, okay?
And with the cane again, the
I'm
other
gonna sit
knee.
in this one.
This is what I'll have next time.
I have no choice. Ladies and gentlemen, have a good evening.
Thanks all.
To
Do you have to sign the continuance first?
Oh, yeah, he has to sign. Yes, please.
I was
Oh,
wondering.
okay, he's got,
You have it, John.
Oh,
then a motion to,
I'll have to sign it and then she'll drop
oh
one.
yeah, continue. Maybe step behind him here too long.
Let me carry you out of here.
Don't tell me.
you wanna, you're on, sign that. Yeah,
parcel, one of these for this one. Is
that way you don't have to stand.
that right?
First one, Sherry Himmelstein's pulling the A and R and she's.
Have a good one.
Oh, so that's why I didn't do anything other than give you the parcel of land.
But only 047, not 048.
Yeah, I didn't bother because things have changed.
Oh.
I just wanted you to see where the land was,
Got it.
right? Because everything's changed.
Right.
All right, we're gonna open our regular planning board meeting. 6:36, October 23rd, 2024. Our first order of business, Chog Land Trust.
Hi, so, I was here before just to kind of show you the original plan. And, since we purchased the whole land and all the junk is cleared out, and we've had a lot of people in to look at it and give us different opinions,
Right.
so that my head is spinning. The original plan, that we showed had a 2.1 acre lot. And we would have to cut in a driveway to do it, and level out the land to make a parking area. And we did did negotiate a trade with the abutter. So, we are donating some of our land so that we can go right from that parking area right back into Mount Vision. So that agreement was reached. But then when we had various realtors and developers in looking at the land, they said, you know, your plan really doesn't make a lot of sense for a lot of reasons. Because if people who are familiar with it, there's two driveways going into the property. So we were gonna have, in order to get the 200-foot frontage, both driveways were going to go into what we called Lot A, which,
Can they look at those extra ones?
okay, so these
So
are,
they get an idea?
yeah, so these are the newer ones. You have the old ones. You have the old original. I think, oh no, that's the newer one. Okay. So we have a whole bunch of copies that we can give to everybody. Anybody?
I'm leaving anyway.
Yeah. Okay, the next one. So basically, what a lot of people said is the lot that we were going to sell that was like 2.5 acres, and now on this plan, it's down to 2.3 acres. Selling it would be a slightly harder sell because of the slope of the land, so that a smaller house would have to go in. And that the land that would make more sense to build on was the other piece of land where we were gonna do a parking area, because somebody who builds a new house, 9 times out of 10 wants to put in a really big house, and they don't want to be limited by the slope and the lot size. And so, you know, we thought, oh, that's a great idea. And so we drew up and we talked with the abutter and said, you know, I think we're going to switch it around, and we'll have to go before the selectmen and everything like that to make sure that, you know, but they would be sort of equivalent in terms of the appraised value, and it wouldn't really change that much. The CPA thing basically just describes a parcel and doesn't really have a deed or a plan, just sort of has a rough draft. So we felt, well, maybe this will work. But we didn't realize, we sort of thought in our mind that when we drew out this lot, that it would include that second driveway. And because it doesn't include that second driveway, that kind of, mucks things up in terms of it being a more saleable lot that kind of flips things back. And to put in a driveway here, just because this.
When you say here, are you talking lot A? Sherry,
So
right
there's
here.
there are already in Lot A, there are already 2 driveways that go in. What we were hoping was to be able to talk to you is if it was possible to get a variance so that we could have the driveway going, each lot would have its own driveway. Because the driveway areas are flatter, there's more visibility from the road. It makes it a more sellable, easier lot. And this would make a much easier lot for us to use as a parking area because it's already sort of level there. So, you may say no, and then we'll go back to our original plan.
So you want the driveway for lot B to go through lot A? Is that what I'm?
Well, yeah, we kind of wanted to change the boundary so that, but in trying to do it, we would be short about 35 feet of the frontage. Now, we'd have more than enough acreage because it's the 1.5 acres, so we'd have over 2 acres, but we would have less frontage. Now, it's not going to be used as a building lot. It's going to basically be used as open space and parking. But, so if there was a variance, it obviously makes it less expensive for the land trust because you don't have to put in driveways and grade things. And it's kind of a nicer approach, but,
Is there a driveway already there, ma'am?
there are 2 driveways going in.
And one cuts through the other one?
Well,
you're
not
saying?
really.
So you're-
Both driveways right now are going into Lot A. And originally, we were going to sell Lot A and retain Lot B. And this is the newer plan, because our older plan.
Yeah, I remember it.
Yeah, you remember, the older plan was a little bit narrower.
Mhm.
And we were gonna do that, and both driveways were gonna go in here, and we would have had to cut our own driveway in there and also grade it because it kind of slopes up. But, then various builders and developers went in there and said, this doesn't make sense. Why are you doing it this way? And I said, I don't know. This seemed like the lot to do it because it was closer and,
This is the previous plan. This is the old plan.
but this plan, the newer plan, we thought when we were cutting the newer plan that it would include the driveway. So Dan just sort of drew it up and I said, does that include the driveway? He said, I'm not really sure, but I don't have time to measure it out before the planning board meeting. So I went there yesterday and I measured it out and realized, no, it's not going to include the driveway. So then I said, well, I guess we're going to have to go back to the original plan. And then somebody said to me, well, you should go before the planning board because sometimes they'll give you a variance. So I said, I just want to think about things before we make any decisions.
So I don't think, John, correct me if I'm wrong. I think it would be ZBA. That
It
would have to be
You are correct.
providing the variance, not us.
Yeah, we can't give you a variance on the driveway.
Okay.
So what you're proposing is, if you would, driveways, one that would come across here,
Yep. And the existing one that's already
correct?
into there.
This existing one would serve lot
Yeah,
A, which is going to be your parking area.
If it's approved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the second one would be
Going to lot,
B, which you plan on selling.
Which we would
and-
plan on
And somebody
selling.
would be developing it.
yes.
Yeah. So we don't have any jurisdiction to enable a variance,
Okay.
like you're asking. So you would propose this to ZBA.
Okay,
ZBA would, and I can't speak to them, but they have some criteria that they would judge this on.
okay.
So one question, it's not a building lot yet, right?
It is not a
How does
building.
that work with your
Well,
selling?
see, the thing is that we have to have it appraised as a building lot because it's the only way we could fund this thing. And, yeah, so.
I think just from.
I wish we didn't have to. We tried very hard to just buy a small piece and that didn't work. So we ended up having to go into debt and buy the whole thing. And now we are all totally stressed out.
So when I say this, okay, and I believe we could approve the A&R.
Yes, but
Okay.
this isn't,
That's all we can do.
right, okay, so then, so then we are going to go before we'll talk about it, and talk about going before the zoning board of appeals and then come back.
Yeah, okay, I mean,
Because we just don't even know how to divide it now. I mean, there's, 10 different opinions on how we should go forward right now.
Yeah.
And,
so ZBA may not hear that, and I might be wrong, but because you don't have an approved plan. So your A and R is not approved yet.
so if we had an A and R approved, then they could,
Then they can make a more definitive decision.
so if they don't make that decision, then can we switch up the whole A and R? Because we have all the signatures and we have everything for this plan, but it's short on the driveway.
Well, yeah, you're not showing a driveway.
Yeah, so this,
So which one, that your old plan or this?
yeah, so this. Okay, but this. So if this got approved as an A and R, and then they said, no, we're not going to give you a variance, then can we just undo the whole thing and come back with a totally new plan?
Yes.
Sure,
Okay,
yes. Yeah, you're not,
so,
the gentleman behind you is coming back for a revision on an A and R. Okay, so
Yeah.
You know.
You can come back.
you can definitely.
come back and have a whole new plan.
Yes, you're not bound to this.
Okay, so we don't have to go to the registry of deeds or anything ahead of time. All we need is your signatures on this.
Correct.
Okay.
Now, which plan do you want us to sign?
Well, this is the only one. This is the only Mylar one.
Okay, so,
And this is the new one. These are all the new.
okay,
One is,
okay. I'm sorry.
I only got a signature from
Mary.
Mary. I need an application from the land, right?
Right.
And a check for $50, because originally she was gonna pull this, and not do this tonight.
Okay.
So long ago.
Mary.
Where they had me grow up.
Actually, the original,
I could run home and get
and they're gonna, this,
At the check it.
and this is.
Come on, Jen, pay up.
But now, they want to do this, they want to move. forward.
This
Alright,
is
that's
Mary,
Mary's
but
one.
do we need another one from? the-
Yes, and I have it right up the street. Give me
That's
back
up to
in
the,
5 minutes.
that's up to the chair.
Plan.
I can't, say yes or no, but
Come
that-
on, this
So I have the check
Yes, it's fine.
and
driveway,
the other
Up to-
application.
I'm up on South. Street.
one into
Back in
the.
5 minutes.
You don't
Five.
have to fast, but
We can't wait 5.
no, we can move on to our next applicant. We can,
All right, so then
we'll hold this for.
Yeah.
All right.
Driveway on another part of the line.
So then,
So they'll pretty much, that person buys the land, giving them the right of way.
Right away.
there's,
So do we have a Mylar and 3 paper copies? Is it the one you gave me
Here's one paper.
that I give
copy.
back to you? We need a Mylar and 3 paper.
The mile, how many copies do you have to?
All,
one,
Yeah, just throw them all down here, so they're ready.
it's March 15th. Is this, are these all the same ones? Because we had.
Yeah, that's what you just gave me.
Can we have your March
Okay.
15th too?
March 15th, March 15th. And the Mylar is March 15th.
both of them are.
Perfect. Could the other one be, you know, that it's not a building?
Well,
It should be on.
it should.
Yeah. Doesn't matter.
We can note it. It does meet the requirements.
Exactly. So why do we have to note it?
It meets the requirements, that lot.
Oh, it has the
It's on
front?
a way, and it's an approved way. And you have, I think, 200 feet of frontage, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yep.
So the lot should be considered a building.
Right. And if they're using it to eventually sell it, so it should be,
It would be eventually,
but if we wanted to say, not a building lot.
right, you
You can
could,
come back and get it.
it wouldn't have to say that on the,
It's conforming.
it's a conforming lot. They.
I thought she meant that, I thought she needed a variance on, forget it.
No, she needs a variance.
Forming, we don't need to say not a building.
Just for a driveway.
You'll need the variance for two driveways on one lot. but
Right.
One is gonna service another lot. So, and it's not a true, in a true sense, it's not a common driveway.
No,
Okay, that's
so curb cuts, two curb cuts.
two curb cuts.
Wasn't there already a
one-
drive?
The common is split.
And that's why you gotta go to the CBA.
All right.
What are you looking at me?
I'm I'm thinking, does highway have to, I mean, when you're putting
cut.
two curb cuts within one lot, do they get involved?
They would.
Yep.
At what point?
So at one point after,
Because I'm ZBA, so I'm wondering what we do.
after ZBA says it's okay, then you would go to Mark or the building inspector,
Yeah,
Wouldn't that be,
either one.
well,
wouldn't that happen when they go to actually pull a permit to build the house though?
There's two, there's one that, yeah, when they go to build the house.
Yeah.
You're right. But they can do both of them at the same time.
That's what I was thinking, like they wouldn't have to get DPW involved with the curb cut until they were ready to build the house and pull a permit for that.
Correct. But they can do both at the same time too.
Got it.
And that way it would be, whatever, however they want to do it, however the land trust would like to do it. Either way is legitimate.
David, did you want to go?
Yeah, I was just making sure that you
You're
did.
good. Sorry.
Say happy birthday.
just leave it, Dave. I'll get it. Go. Don't worry about it.
Thank you. Hey. All right, so we'll pause on number one and we'll go to A and R for Rear Mill Road. Revising an A and R previously approved by the board. 9/25/24.
Yeah.
We're looking at a new A and R for you?
Yes.
Okay.
I brought the old one. I don't know if you want to see it or not, but. Huh?
I don't remember.
Okay, this is the.
Maybe I wasn't. Oh, yes.
This is the old.
This is the new one. All right, so what are we doing? What are we changing?
Just changing the line that we added, last one on 60 feet. Take it out. For Connecticut, and we gave also, fellow planner, and we suggested that we leave, enough area there. The other back, in case it was ever sold at a future date.
Okay.
This is the first.
So in other words, access to, I'm gonna say parcel A, would be accessed through that 60 feet? That
Yeah, it would
is-
have potential, I mean, access if it's.
This is the old one.
Yeah, right, where it says town line G.
Oh, wait.
Let's see.
Yes, so what I'm asking you though, what you're saying to me is access to parcel A
Yes,
is going to come through,
yes, it doesn't now, but it could.
okay, right, I understand it doesn't, but
So John, here's the original plan.
yeah, I remember.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I'm okay. This, I'm looking at the new plan. And, so as far as Hampden is concerned, Parcel B and parcel A are the only ones in question. Because East Long Meadow, you've got that,
Oh, go ahead.
I'm gonna say that parcel has frontage on Summers Road in
Yeah, and there's
Massachusetts.
no change. There's no
Right.
change to, not to the East Long Meadow lot. It's just the dividing line of the Hampden parcel.
Yep. So,
Was adjusted.
so what your surveyor said was you would not be able to gain access to parcel A through Connecticut.
Yes. correct.
Gotcha. Okay.
Great.
Everybody good with that? Yeah. Yep. Okay.
Move that we endorse the A and R for parcel 01003000 Rear Mill Road for Russell and Ryan Morton.
Did you give a date of the plan?
Oh,
Revised.
revised A and R dated October 21st, 2024.
Very good. Yes.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
21st. I'll take all those. Do you have the Mylar that you almost?
Yeah, it's right here.
Oh,
Sorry, I have so many.
hang on a minute.
Is the old one yours?
The old one's the folded one. Yeah, that's my file copy, yeah. Thank you. Got it, rubber bands or not.
There you go.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll set.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay. Motion, oh, okay.
Is he here for something else?
Oh, yeah, now he wants to discuss, yep.
Yep, you want to discuss
So now,
Bruce Bruce's property?
Correct.
Okay. What do you got, Russ?
Are you guys, do you have a map of it or any map?
I gave them a map of it, yes, to show them the parcel.
So as you see, it's approximately a 40-acre parcel. And the access is through East Long Meadow. So
The old Forbes Garden Center.
it was part of it. It was actually, it has access through Bramer Drive and Ainsley Drive, and Ainsley is the first name, like Forbes' grandfather. So he's the
Okay.
one that subdivided the land. He left the three accesses. So I've spoken with the town of East Long Meadow Planning Director, Rob Wachico, and he basically directed me to the fire and the DPW. So I spoke to the fire director, Brian DuPont, and he said basically it's a town road in East Long Meadow up to where the driveway would start. So he said that they never go on any driveways. So it could be a standard driveway width possibly. They don't actually pull the fire trucks in there. So I'm just trying to kind of jump ahead because those are probably some of the questions, who's going to provide services, such as that. So, and on the DPW, they don't allow any water or sewer hookup, but I kind of knew that. I planned on but the planner in East Long Meadow said that he would consider the Hampden regulations to kind of trump East Long Meadow, so if the parcel is totally in Hampden.
Yeah.
You can kind of follow where I'm going. Well, it has 60 feet of frontage in 3 locations. What I'm seeking is access for, the parcel's gonna be used for agricultural. And, but there has to be a caretaker's residence there, which could be as simple as a kitchen and a bathroom in a section of a barn. It could be like a tiny house on the property, or, just an average small house.
Right.
So I guess I'm just kind of asking for directions from the planning board. If you would accept that, what East Long Meadow is saying, and use your regulations. I think the 60 foot of frontage, there's 40 acres there. I think that would qualify for like an estate lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need 8
And
acres.
you have to be, I know a little bit about the estate lots. And, I think it meets it does, the parcel's 40 acres. There's quite a bit of frontage on the Scantic River, but there would be no disturbance within the riparian zone, which is sort of that 200-foot protected area. Or if there was any, if we would follow, town and DEP regulations for that. So it's kind of a quagmire of a piece of property, so I'm just trying to start here.
Okay. So, the section is in Hampden. That, if you will, I drove down through there. Okay, so I'm familiar with the area. There's actually in East Long Meadow, there's actually a pumping station, I believe.
Yes, there is on
Okay.
one of the accesses, which
Yeah.
wouldn't be used because there's a wetland swale through there right behind that, so we wouldn't
Right.
ask for any use of that. When I think it's on the end of Glen Heather Drive or something,
Mhm. Yeah, one of those. Yeah.
sort of East Long Meadow streets.
It is, you're right. It is on East Long Meadow streets. So what you're asking is to do some development for agricultural on the limited industrial area?
Yes. It was obviously it was part of Forbes's farm,
Mhm.
going back to Ainsley. And I personally farmed the land when Fred was in charge of the land, even though his brother Bruce was out of the area.
Mhm.
I farmed it before it's become dormant for the last 20, 30 years.
And you would
It
want,
was in 61A at one time.
yeah, okay, you want it, and you would want to gain access on one of those two,
Yeah,
not the 60 feet that we just,
nothing would be done on where the pumping station is. We don't
Okay.
need the pumping station. I understand, perk tests and,
yeah.
wells.
So,
So we're not asking for water. I mean, the only thing we would get electrical from those,
off of those streets.
yes.
And that's up to the power company.
Right.
The question I have is building a caretaker's structure. That's the question I have, and I am not sure about how that would work. Because right now, to build a structure there, you have no frontage on a Hampden street.
Yeah, that's why I explored that with the East Long Meadow Planning Director, and he said he would consider your rules, which are 60 feet of frontage for an estate lot, if it qualifies for that.
Correct, but the frontage, you don't have any frontage in Hampden.
That's true.
So that our bylaw for the 60 feet and 8 acres, because it has to front on a Hampden street, if you will. So
That's why I explored the fire and DPW services, because there would be no plowing for them.
Right,
So it's, you know, no,
yeah.
nothing on them, and it wouldn't be any request for Hampden services.
So the question, yeah, so it comes down to a couple of questions, I guess, is if there was an emergency call,
Right.
how do they get to it? It's in Hampden. They're gonna
Well, it
go,
would be quicker, probably, depending on the response time, which I can't predict.
right,
I mean, miles from the fire station, it's probably closer to East Long Meadow, and it's probably maybe similar. I don't know if I'm.
so Action Ambulance in Hampden,
Pardon?
Action Ambulance is on Mill Road, we know that.
Right,
Okay, but the fire department is further away. You were building a structure in Hampden. Would East Long Meadow, and East Long Meadow's fire department is right up the road. We
yeah,
know
that's why I
that.
spoke with them today.
Sure, and would they, if there was a
Yes,
problem?
they said they would.
So there's some issues that I think we need to get
Okay,
nailed down.
okay.
That we have an idea of what you want to do. You want to do agricultural,
Correct.
you want to do a structure there. In Hampden, but there's no frontage on any Hampden street. So right now, per our book, it's not allowed, you know what I'm saying? It might be under an accessory use for an agricultural.
Yeah, I don't know much about the accessory roofs.
And that's what, I'm not 100% sure.
What I've been told, though, if you have a parcel, it's a state or federal law that you have to allow a person to build on. If it meets the town requirements and the frontage requirement. And these are from this East Long Meadow Planning Director. He said that they would. I don't know if this would be the right word, defer to the Hampden regulations.
Right.
Which state 60 feet, because he's considering that a 60-foot wide frontage.
Yeah.
On those
Mhm.
accesses that touch that parcel.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, like I said originally, it's kind of a quagmire of a lot, but I think the laws that I've been told by not only the planning director, but an attorney, that it would and I guess it's going back to simply as to do agriculture on a piece like that, if you don't have someone there, you're just asking for, it could be as simple as vandalism or theft or.
And I mean, and I'm gonna ask, what kind of agricultural would it be? Cows or?
Oh, no, plants,
Plants?
yeah.
So that's something we would have to speak to. I would have to. Myself, I'm saying, I think I would go to town council and see. But I think what's a bigger thing that if they say, yeah, then the bigger,
Say,
meaning our town council.
okay,
But if our town council says yes, I think then an agreement needs to be in place between East Long Meadow's town administrator and our town administrator, signed off by, both.
I agree.
Okay. I mean, I'm looking for how to do this.
That's mainly what he suggested.
Okay, so,
And I spoke with him at length.
okay,
It wasn't just a
yep,
15-minute phone call.
no problem, yeah. And I understand, I think we need, a little bit more, of a plot plan to look at and to really, not right now.
Right, I could put together a generic.
I mean, you could take what you gave us tonight and draw
like
some
a
stuff.
town,
Yeah.
I mean, basically it would be a town map showing
Sure,
access and.
yeah, I mean, this one
Rental
does.
location.
Yeah.
Of a caretaker's residence.
And I'm familiar because, like I said, I drove by one day down through Summers Road in East Long Meadow.
Yeah.
And, you know, I always wondered what was gonna go on at Forbes's Garden
Right.
Center, and the next time I drove down, it was gone and mowed down. So then all of a sudden, you came with a A&R last meeting, and I'm saying, I wonder what's going on. So anyways, that's my questions.
Yeah,
Yeah,
When was it a
well,
four?
that has
When was-
really nothing to do with this.
no, but it does, but it would have, but partially, I think, some of your property, which you showed us on that.
That's correct.
Yeah, what was on the A&R.
Yes.
Yes, but this is a separate matter. The A&R would be below this, what you're asking us here,
Right.
I believe. Go ahead, Madison, when was it? Forbes Garden Center?
Oh, like a long time ago.
Oh,
So, I was just wondering how how it's accessed.
Yeah.
it was it was quite a lot while ago.
Yeah.
The access to Forbes Garden Center was right on Summers Road. Okay, they had greenhouses and stuff there at one time.
Okay.
So those are all gone. Everything, the house that was there is gone too. So, yeah.
Okay.
So I think what we need to do is send a letter off to our town council,
Okay.
okay? Asking for a little input. Want to put a structure, blah, 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 and
Right.
I think we got a little idea.
And basically, at this point, it's probably just a barn with what would be called a caretaker's residence.
Yeah, yeah. In other words, a small, you'd have to, like you said, you're familiar with, you gotta have water, so you'd probably
Yeah, that's.
drill a well
Yeah, exactly.
and a septic and,
Exactly.
you know, it might be a 1 bedroom or something like
Well, I
that.
think the minimum is 2. I mean, the town, that would have to get I think the minimum is 2 bedroom and even that you have to get a variance for, I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
That's,
that's.
we're way ahead of the game
Yeah.
right now. Yeah, yes, okay. Does that sound reasonable?
Yeah.
Does it make sense?
I think we should
Yeah.
talk to town administrator about reaching out to town council.
Yeah, we will.
Because
You're right, Madison.
that might end up, with potentially,
I couldn't quite hear all that.
we have to talk to town administrator before we ask town council,
Town administrator in East Long Meadow?
our town administrator before.
In Hampden first.
Okay.
Yeah, we would go to our town administrator first,
Mhm.
let them know what's going on, let him know what's going on. And if we need to speak to town council, he may have, he does have a degree in law. Okay, so he may be
Your
able
town
to,
council?
yes.
I hope so.
Town administrator.
Town administrator, I'm sorry,
Okay.
and the town administrator may say, go to town council.
Okay,
Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself.
just what I want to do, meet a couple new lawyers.
Oh,
Haven't had more than
There's-
100 already.
there's more. Everybody's a lawyer. Okay, okay,
That's why I kind of came here and tried to get a few questions answered.
Yeah. Well-
From East Long Meadow,
we will,
because you got to look at it at both sides. If someone was coming from there, it's,
mhm.
has to
Well,
be a
it's-
little, leeway in some of the.
So I mean, from the East Long Meadow side, I don't know, I'm gonna say there would be an increase in traffic. Possibly not a lot, but there would be.
Yeah, it wouldn't affect Hampden, though, would it?
No, it won't.
Increase in traffic for one residence?
Right, for one residence. But then
Big
again,
increase.
if we're doing agricultural, and it's, let's say vegetables, so if you're gotta move them somewhere. So,
That's true.
so,
There's also, well, you can
And-
go by helicopter or boat up the river. up the
Yeah,
Atlantic.
I'm not sure, the Concom will allow a boat up there, but okay. Anyways,
I don't.
yes.
Jim Scandic anyway.
Well, I went down in a boat just a few months ago.
Okay,
It's navigable.
all right, well, yes.
But yeah, I think it would be easier accessing and getting some type of agreement that with East Long Meadow that really puts, I don't see any problems in Hampden from fire or
That's the question that needs to get answered.
Yeah, that's why I did speak with the East Long Meadow Fire Chief.
Yeah. And again, would they serve, and it has to be
Yeah,
an agreed to,
yeah.
because they're not gonna get any tax value out of it.
East Long Meadow, no.
No. So they're gonna,
But they're not providing anything.
well, they would provide emergency services too.
Well, I mean, the way I look at emergency services is if my house was on fire, I'd call both, because I live on Mill Road.
Mhm.
I'd call both East Long Meadow and Hampden, just to see who got there first.
Well,
Not to see, but to get,
Yeah, whoever could get there first.
you know, I think anyone in that area would be foolish not to.
yeah, that's okay. Okay,
All right,
good.
so I will just kind of check with Joanne and see how soon it gets to the administrator, and
Yeah,
then I might have,
you're out of time right now.
okay.
Right now, it's busy time in Hampden right now. I mean, you got
Sure.
a lot of things happening, if you will, Russ. You know, town meetings coming up,
Right,
a bunch of stuff, so,
right.
okay.
Do you think that you could send a note to us about just what the intent is for the lot, so that's what we can share with town council?
Me a formal letter? I mean.
Yeah. Formal,
No.
informal,
An email
To the
or,
planning board?
Yeah.
sure.
It can be handwritten?
I think we'd prefer it to be typed, but
No, and any way you can
Send an
get it,
email?
email or
Pardon?
whatever.
Okay, I'll get it to Joanne. Would that be my contact person?
Please do, yes.
Okay. And then when you're saying, should I make an appointment for the next meeting or?
Well, we'll let the town administrator review it and see if we go to town council, and then we'll get in contact, right?
Very busy.
Patty?
so-
We are. Yeah, I'm not lying. We're busy, so we'll be back in touch with you.
Okay.
It might be a while.
What?
I have your number memorized.
My son says that when I babysit and I'm 8 hours later, I'm thinking it's gonna get here.
I'm gonna tell you what, it'll be longer than 8 hours, okay?
Um,
And I can't tell you because again,
okay.
we can't commit
I
to
mean,
anything,
the town administrator is open all the time, right?
but he's busy too.
If I get something to Joanne and then I can get on his busy schedule.
His schedule, and that's up to him,
Okay,
okay?
great. I will proceed with that.
All right. It may go to town council. So
Okay.
he may just say, send it to
Well,
town.
first I have to talk to the first lawyer and then the second lawyer.
Yep.
Thank you for your time.
Bye.
I'll stay for Sherry's.
Oh,
And actually, I couldn't find the check, so I wrote my own.
Is it good?
The check is good. To Town of Hampden?
Yeah,
Okay.
no, I don't, yeah. I'll put it to Joanne Fiore. Okay,
This is that.
and then the other one signed by Minichog Land Trust. Okay. Do you want copies of these? I can send them to you tomorrow. Can I just use that pen? The pen.
Oh.
Thank you. Thanks. Do you want copies of these sent back to you signed?
Sure,
And, okay, just so you have them.
sure.
And
So, I will contact the zoning board of appeals. I don't know how far up there.
you signed those?
Joanne is ZBA also. She's the contact for
You signed
ZBA.
with Morton, yeah. yeah.
So ZBA meets the last
Fourth Tuesday of the month.
fourth Tuesday of the month.
Can I get on the schedule for this month or is it?
Absolutely not. There's a whole process. No, yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now, you already missed November's because it's gotta be, published in the paper. And you gotta get a certified abutters list process. It's about a month and a half. So you gotta come and fill out the application first
Okay,
and
and I'm gonna leave myself on the, I'm just gonna see what, I'm just gonna tell the rest of the board what I've done tonight. Because they may say, you're holding things up, because we have to be able to get one lot on the market and we have to be in shape to have it for, way ahead of January to get on the warrant to,
Okay, you're going for the,
that we've already been approved by CPA, so
Right.
now we have to go on the warrant to have the town purchase the land and we have to have the deed registered. So, it may not even work out. So, I have these already made, so we signed it. The worst is that I'm out $50 and I'll be coming back to say we're gonna go back to the original plan because the time might be too close.
Okay.
Because you're saying that the earliest I could get the Board of Appeals is,
Well, the December meeting is the 23rd. Off the top of my head, it's like December 23rd. So I'd have to make sure we'd have a quorum because that's Christmas week.
okay,
That's a problem. So I've already been asked for a public hearing on that date also. Not that we can't do two, but I don't know if I have a quorum for Christmas week. That's the problem, because I know I'm off.
Tuesday,
So I don't know.
Tuesday is the 24th.
24, Tuesday is the 24th?
Yeah,
oh,
So
so that's
that's-
not gonna happen.
Good luck.
Good.
No,
No,
no.
it's not gonna happen. So I mean, the timing on this, now that we've already done all these
January.
things, may not work because I have to figure out which parcel to have a deed number for, for the warrant for May.
yeah, but that warrant article, those warrants, when you get that done,
Yeah,
that will be,
I mean, I think I have to get it in like January, February,
no, March,
No,
Not
not till
till
March or April.
March,
That one one more time.
March,
March.
March.
All right, so that I could possibly do it.
Yeah, because we could do January or February.
Yeah,
Okay,
And I think it's like a few weeks before the town meeting that you have to have everything finalized.
a month, yeah.
I think as long as you tell them that you want something on the warrant.
Yeah, no, I did that this time, but we didn't have we were planning on going by the original thing.
No, my point is that you have time to change, like you just
To
tell them that you want to have an warrant article and then you have time to update it.
Right, put a
If things are gonna
placeholder.
change.
Yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah,
Placeholder.
yeah. All right, well, I'm not, don't cross me off of 2 weeks from now because I now have to tell the rest of the board what we just did.
So keep you on our agenda for the next
The
meeting.
next meeting.
I got you on there. Okay.
Yes, and then it might be another $50 check, so.
Okay.
Maybe I'll find the original check that I wrote. All right, well, thank you, everybody, and we'll see how this goes.
okay,
So you'll get back to me on what date it would be.
Well, it's not
Sounds like
go-
gonna be January.
It's not- I think we meet the fourth Tuesday. You missed November's because I can't
Okay,
get it
right.
published.
Okay,
And I doubt they're going to do a meeting Christmas Eve.
no,
So now we're talking the fourth Tuesday in January.
okay,
Do you know what it is off the top of your head?
January 28th.
January 28th.
okay, all right, so January 28th, we'll do that, and then do they make a decision right away?
Yes,
or-
they'll make it that, but if you're going to do January 28th, start backing in. You're going to start doing your process in December.
Okay,
Get things going in December. So
okay,
come in and get an application in December.
all right, so I will talk to you.
Yeah.
Thank
Yep.
you.
all right.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
I think so. It's confusing. Oh, did you sign him? Yeah. What's her name? Sherry. Sherry. The Mylar, she needs a Mylar. But she needs the Mylar. She has to take the Mylar. I don't know what.
You will.
You take the paper, plastic.
Yeah, yeah. It's a mess. Other than Cecilia.
She's gonna need Mylar to go to ZBA.
Gonna need a Mylar.
Okay.
I put a paper clip over here if you want to.
Thank you.
I threw it on your pile.
Okay. I'm sure it's here somewhere. Thank you. I'll find it. I'm sure it's here. Yep, it's right. Oh, look it. There we go.
Okay.
Okay.
So they're doing Wilbraham and Munson's proposed bylaws for the ADUs.
I'm looking at Wilbraham, yeah.
Yep, okay.
Check you watch. Oh, yeah. She's probably gonna find the other one, like in her car.
I thought this, I was reading the Wilbraham.
Mhm.
I just one commented to provide homeowners with a means of obtaining, this is the purpose.
Yeah. 4.10.1 B.
Provide homeowners with the means of obtaining through tenants and ADUs, rental income.
No,
Right.
I saw that too. Yeah.
Companionship.
Yeah,
Wrong.
yes. So it is in the Mass General Law.
That is, yes.
So a lot of my questions pertain to some of that. Okay,
Short-term rental versus long-term.
no, when you say short term, it has to be,
Airbnb.
no Airbnbs are allowed. 31 days or longer,
Got it.
okay, or 30 days, 31 days, whatever, or longer.
Yeah, I saw that reference.
That was in.
Yeah.
It was actually.
Yeah.
So the question I have, that you're going to allow a rental. Okay, do you think that you should notify the neighbors that now your ADU is going to be used for rental? Those are, I'm posing this, those are things to think about, okay? So if it is, it then goes from it might go to a special permit, okay, so that all the neighbors are notified instead of just a site plan review.
Right.
Okay, so, you know, or, go ahead, Joanne, what?
You can't require a special permit.
You can't, but rental, you're gonna rent it. How do you notify? How,
I don't think you can.
what do you mean?
I don't think you have to notify the abutters. I don't know. I'm pretty sure.
So when they see a different car every week?
Yeah.
So the other thing is, you're gonna go through a site plan review.
Right, that we can do.
So those site plan reviews, okay, that's your only means to say to the people around, hey, it was posted,
Yeah.
it was in our agenda.
Right.
You're gonna get a lot of flack. You're gonna have people yelling at you, right? So those are just one of
We
the,
don't make up the, I mean,
go ahead.
we don't make the mass general laws, so.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, but it just shows there was not a lot of attention to detail.
Yeah.
When the legislature put these into effect. So that was one thing, Pat.
Yeah, there was, 31 days.
Yeah, I'm sorry, yeah. Did you have anything else up there? I'm gonna go through Wilbraham's, if that's okay with
Yep.
you.
Yep.
That all right with everybody else?
Yep.
Okay. So some of the questions I have, if you go to, this is 4.10.2. C. So they say that the ADU can be attached or unattached, right, to the principal dwelling.
Yeah.
So if it's attached, okay, the entrances shall not be shall be located on the side and the rear of the principal dwelling unit. So in other words, they may be joined to the original house, but there is not access from the original house or the principal dwelling to the ADU. Is that what you take out of that?
It's generally, which is.
So go ahead. I mean, I'm just bringing up those questions that I had. You can think about them, okay?
Say that again, John. Your point is that.
So in other words, the ADU shall be
Yeah.
complete separate housekeeping unit that functions as a separate unit from the principal single-family dwelling. And it says where the ADU is attached to the principal dwelling unit, new entrances shall generally be located on the side or rear of the principal dwelling unit.
Because ours said it had to have it
Go ahead.
connected, right?
Correct.
Right.
So ours was connected. And I'm saying, I don't believe this isn't clear to me, okay? So it says on the side or the rear of the principal dwelling unit.
It's because they're trying to market this as a rental. And you know, if you build an ADU and you have it attached to your house, you don't want them to be able to come into your house. Direct
Right,
access.
exactly. So that's the question I have. Ours said it's connected. This says no connection. That as far as I'm reading.
That's how I read it also.
Okay.
Right.
It's a separate housekeeping unit.
Correct. Okay. When I go to D, and these are things I'm just asking to, when I was reading it, and I'm trying to play this out in my mind, okay?
Yeah.
Questions that I have for myself, but I'm asking the group. The exterior appearance of the accessory dwelling unit shall be reasonably compatible with the character and scale of the principal dwelling unit and the character of the neighborhood. Who makes that decision?
I would take the word reasonably out. It's
I
gonna be
agree.
compatible,
I
make
agree
it
that-
compatible. You're not gonna make it look like some hack job.
The building inspector.
So, and again, how do you justify what, you know, what you're asking people
I think
to
it's just a
do?
catch, the see ya, cover your ass note.
Yes,
and
it is.
let us-
See why?
Yes, CYA, yes.
So if I built I don't know,
So if the
fortress
building-
behind my house, somebody'd be like,
A
that doesn't look like your
lean-to
house.
on the back
Yeah.
of your house.
so the building inspector would say, well, wait a minute, I don't agree. This doesn't look like
Yeah.
your house, but maybe the next door neighbor says, well, I think it looks good. And then somebody down the street may say, oh, I think it, you know. So does it reasonably, how do you reasonably,
I'm taking out reasonably.
okay. So that's something, again, like I said, that's something, something I had a question on.
Well, and compatible with the scale of the principal dwelling unit. In my head means same, not same size, but smaller.
Well, it can only be 900 square feet.
Or half the gross floor area of the principal dwelling,
So if I had
Know
a
that you really need scale in there.
whichever is smaller,
900 or,
state law says,
Yeah.
900 or half, whichever is smaller.
whichever is smaller.
would you say, Joanne?
It says to meet the requirements of the state building code for safe egress is not larger in gross floor area than half the gross floor area of the principal dwelling or 900 feet, whichever is smaller.
Right. Yes.
I think scale just means if you've got like a cape, you're not building like, I don't know, a stick house or something.
Yeah,
So I mean, if I had 100,000 square foot or 10,000 square foot house,
God, how big's your house, John?
that would be a mansion. That's
Yeah.
actually 2 mansions.
10,000 square feet? A big house.
mine's 100. No. So if it's a 10,000 square foot house, the maximum you could build no matter what is always going to be 900 square feet.
Yes.
So whether
900
it's
square feet,
attached,
not very,
what's that?
that's not a lot of space.
I don't know, I
It's a
think
condo.
scale is size. I think
My daughter's is a.
character would speak to like the style of the house, but scale says size to me. So it seems a
Scale says scale to me. I'm an engineer,
You're an
so I'm-
engineer.
Like it can't be higher than the roof of the
Probably
main,
go with the
main
engineer.
building.
No, that's definite. It can't be higher than.
Right, scaling is.
Yeah.
Okay, well. Okay,
Okay, so if you have a 900 square foot house, the largest your accessory dwelling unit would be 450 square feet.
yes.
That sucks. Well, for them,
No, does
there's
it?
a few
Well, no, it's not how big
900.
their gross. Yeah,
Yeah, there's
Half the.
One half the.
one off of Carmody, or actually I think the address is Carmody, that's 900 square feet.
Sure.
Not that they've got enough land to put an ADU there, but
Well, the possibility is, like you said,
yeah,
900 square feet their biggest house could be 450.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Smaller than my upstairs,
so it's,
800 square feet.
um.
Yep.
Yeah, so,
Doable.
I'm not too worried about the word scale.
so that would be,
Off,
so 20 by 20. Or would be, if you're 900.
Yeah.
20 by 20 is 400 square feet, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, the 20 by 20,
it's like a studio apartment.
yes,
Studio
What-
apartment.
No.
Oh, tiny home.
Tiny home.
yeah.
I mean, this is like,
That's probably what scale means. You can't go up. You know what I
No.
mean? So you're not getting.
Well, they think they said,
I think if you have a ranch and you're putting an ADU, you can't put a two-story, or if you have a ranch,
go ahead,
you can't put a two-story
80,
AD,
behind it or next to it.
yeah.
That's your scale.
scale and character.
So again, that may need to be clarified, if you will, which obviously it does, because we're having some trouble with it. So E, where you have to allow it, E is at least one off-street parking space must be provided for all ADUs. Parking may be in a driveway or a garage. The construction of a new garage to serve an ADU shall require a special permit from the planning board under, that's their 4.4.8, that's theirs.
So garages, those aren't, that square footage isn't included in your gross floor,
No,
right?
so here's the question I have. So if I put an ADU, a singular ADU, and it tells me I have to have a parking space, but now I want to put a garage, one garage, I need to have some definition
The size of the garage.
of the size of a garage. Now, the question I have, but there's a section in our bylaw that allows, setbacks to, if it's, which pertains to an accessory building like a shed, less than 170 square feet, okay? Which is a little smaller than a garage. It can be located within 5 feet of the property line. If it's on a two-street, if the principal dwelling is on 2 streets, then there's a question there. That's in section 7 of the bylaw. Okay, so that's if you make a new spot. Can you share if you have a spot at the principal dwelling? And let's say I have a 3-car garage. Can I share that spot? Don't know. I keep asking.
Don't want to. I wouldn't.
But if you had, let's say you had a three-car garage and it was set up for, I don't know, one of your children, they moved out.
Yeah.
And now that it's an empty spot, can I utilize that for the ADU? Again, I'm not asking for answers. Those are questions as I read this, you know.
Right.
I would get that up to the homeowner.
So if we attach it, and this is one thing, if Joanne, you would contact Finn. If we attach, if the ADU is attached, they can share water from the principal.
Depends on the septic, right?
Yeah, talking to Board of Health,
Go ahead.
it's same as if you're putting like an addition on, or bedroom,
Okay, how
based
about
on the bedrooms,
if it's unattached? How's that?
as long as it's accommodating an additional bedroom, it's another bedroom, or 2 bedrooms.
That's septic.
Yeah.
Now, how about water? Because
I don't know.
is it a separate water service or is it gonna be
High off of the house, you mean?
tie off the house? So, and the reason I ask this, okay, is because the water district now in Hampden, we have a water district. Is that gonna encumber if everybody starts to put ADUs in? Are we going to be able to service those homes with enough water? That's why.
It says, going back to your parking, not more than one additional parking space shall be required. It doesn't say a garage.
But if,
It can have a parking space, that's
But,
it.
but is the person occupying the ADU going to be allowed to use the garage for
And
the
that's-
primary residence?
in the primary residence, and now that's their parking spot.
That's the, I
Don't
think
know.
you just can't do more than one for the ADU, but if, you know what I'm saying? If they allow you to use a parking space, that's like saying, oh, you can use my garage.
But
But you
again,
still gotta have the parking space for the ADU, I think. That's what it says here. It has to have one spot.
right, the one spot is in my principal.
No,
dwelling
I
unit.
think you still have to have one, according to this.
No.
One
It says
additional
space.
parking space shall be required.
It says one space shall be
Oh,
required.
it
My
says
one space is
one-
in my
Maybe,
principal dwelling unit's 3-car garage.
Yeah, because
maybe
it
in the
doesn't say
driveway or
additional.
garage.
Doesn't,
Let's say who-
It says shall be provided.
It does, yeah, it
no,
does,
I'm reading the state law.
oh, it says additional?
Not more than one additional parking space
Not
shall be
more than.
required for an accessory dwelling unit. So if you use someone's garage, that's, I guess, fine, but you can't put, you still have to have one additional parking space, not more than.
No,
No,
I read it
to
like
me,
that.
it says no more than one, but to me, that means
So-
it's not
One
required.
additional parking shall be required, it says.
so my one parking space, now I don't need to go through and get a special permit because I have the garage space from the principal
Thank you.
building
It's being provided.
I think we should.
being provided.
That's all it means.
Then I think,
You know, to create a new one, if it's provided, it's provided.
So that's
It's no more than one shall be required, but you don't have to require one, as long as there's.
that's one.
but
That's
what
my.
if you rent it out now?
Required but provided.
If you rent it out and you don't want the tenant in your garage, now you don't have the parking space for them.
No, then they
You're
have
SOL.
to.
That's why I'm saying, I think when you do the ADU, you've got to have the required, isn't it say required one parking space?
Just says as
In
provided.
this one,
You're reading Wilbraham, I'm reading the state.
and I'm saying the state, okay, it's required, so it doesn't tell you where it's required. It can be in another building.
Okay, so is additional defined as additional to what is existing at the time of building the ADU or additional to what the driveway offers, which would be considered a garage?
All right, I read this as
Vague.
the
Yeah, the
use of land or
state really
structure,
stumped this up, didn't it?
the use of land or structures for an
Is that
accessory
on
dwelling
recording?
unit under this paragraph shall not require owner occupancy of either the accessory dwelling unit or the principal dwelling unit, provided that not more than one additional parking space shall be required for an accessory dwelling unit, and provided further that no additional parking spaces shall be required for an accessory dwelling located not more than 0.5 miles from a commuter rail station. I read it as you're required to add a spot,
That's how I read it. That's how I
Required what?
to add a parking spot.
add a parking space for the ADU.
So in other words, what if it's attached? Now, if it's attached to my house, so why can't I offer that one parking space?
Okay, so here's,
You-
if anybody comes,
So if it's this vague, there's gonna be questions about it. That's where I'm going with this.
well, what I was gonna say is that for an applicant has to come for a special permit for an ADU, right?
No,
No, site plan review,
ask for a special.
Okay, well, so site plan reviews, where are you gonna look at the parking?
right? So the site plan review is, if it's offered in the house, is that gonna be okay? And the principal dwelling unit?
I would say one additional spot, additional to me means
Got
at
it.
the time of the building of the
You
ADU,
have to have a parking space.
additional to what is already existing on the property, including driveway. That's how I would read it.
So in other words, if there's 3 there, you're saying you want another one,
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's how.
okay?
And
I mean,
Bunsen
I'm-
says,
I don't care, you know, I really don't. It's the vagueness of of the state laws and
People
everything.
will find those holes. and-
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're gonna leave that up to, you know, building inspector or us, you know, and we're gonna interpret it this way, but we need to be consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Then the next page is ADU shall conform to the town of Hampden, right? Stormwater bylaw, wetlands protection bylaw, and regulations as applicable.
Yeah.
Again, my thing with the short-term rentals,
Right.
the notification is my big thing.
31 days is short to me. Who rents a,
So I could rent one for a month or
Yeah.
2 months and then move out and then
Yeah.
do another 2 months. I can rent one for 8 because it's, so now I got an influx of college kids. Okay.
Mhm.
I can rent, I have now a source of income for college kids because it's a rental and I rent it to them for 8 months, whatever the school term is.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would specify if we can, that a lease would be required between renter and rentee. Can we require that? No.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
That sucks.
But that's the way it is, I
Yeah.
guess, you know.
So, okay,
Go ahead.
so if somebody goes on Airbnb and rents it for
2 months.
2 months, you could put it on Airbnb as a 2-month rental.
Mhm.
Hmm. Fascinating.
Okay, so all ADUs require site plan approval, which is, yeah. Special permit if they want to put a garage in.
Yep.
Problem. And then the other one, planning board may request reasonable plan modifications. I think that's fine. Of the site plan for ADU may impose reasonable conditions that are not inconsistent with this bylaw or the provisions of Mass General Law, whatever, 40, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Then non-conforming units, we don't have anything in our bylaw that addresses non-conforming housings or non-conforming.
Yeah.
Stuff. Well, thank you. So Wilbraham does, they do have a couple pages about non-conforming. So I'm not sure how you want to address it.
I didn't quite get I was trying to understand what they were saying here.
Go ahead.
It says, provided that no special permit may consider the ADU use or impose conditions on such use when you've got a non-conforming residence.
So in other words,
So now,
go ahead.
so now you've got this special permit coming in to the mix with a non-conforming property.
Yeah. So in other words, if you have a non-conforming property,
Yeah,
okay, and
you want to put an ADU on it,
go ahead.
and now you got a special permit in the mix,
Go ahead.
and is it saying that somehow can't change the nature of it can't make the non-conforming property conforming now?
Right.
Correct.
That,
And it can't make it more
Non-conforming.
yeah,
you understand.
yeah,
So the question is, so the setback, I'm gonna go with setbacks just.
Yeah.
And I want to put an ADU, not attached.
right,
And my setbacks are already not according to the zoning bylaw. That means I can still put that ADU in
Right.
with the same setbacks. Is that what they're saying? As not being, in other words, you can't impose conditions on such a use. So in other words, if our conditions now are 30 feet and the house was built and it was 15, that means the ADU can be 15 feet from the
No,
side setback?
no, my interpretation would be that the ADU needs to follow the current
Conform.
conforming requirements, but it's not going to impact the fact that the lot it's on is non-conforming.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay,
I think we have to reword that a little bit.
yeah, because we have no.
Yeah.
Really nothing on non-conforming.
When it comes to water supply and sewer, right?
Yeah.
I mean, could you essentially just, I'll say, tap into what exists if you're in the existing home and if the Board of Health says it's good, you got water, there's enough space in the, I'll say in the leach field to add it, and you don't have to have anything standalone, you can just, whether you're attached to the house or away from the house, or
Yeah.
detached. It sounds like you could take advantage of what's on the property and it could work.
As long as.
Yeah, as long as it's approved by the Board of Health, I don't see why not.
Sure.
Yeah.
So that's but the question I have is, how about in our water district?
Yeah.
Well, that's part of the Board of Health approval for the building permit.
Right, but.
So if somebody comes to Hobie or whoever with a building permit and says, I want to build a 600 square foot 80 just to have one bathroom with
Yep.
this many fixtures, then whoever has to look in to see what the,
And it's it's off of our water
right,
district.
right.
So in
Okay,
other
so it might, okay, so the
It's-
water district might be able to accommodate that for the first 50 ADUs that are built,
Yeah,
but
I mean,
another.
let's say, I
There's
think
not.
there's 12 now,
Yeah,
we're
no.
gonna add some more,
Okay.
So do we have enough water? They're redoing the pump station and things right now. Did anybody consider that? I don't know. And those
Oh,
are the
absolutely
questions.
not.
What's that?
Absolutely not.
Right,
Is
That
it monitored now?
there's probably a water model now for the town if they're doing all this work, and that's how they look at the flow and capacity of it, I think.
So if somebody puts a subdivision in, who checks to see, oh yeah, there's enough water for all those houses?
Civil
They do that
engineering.
now?
what do you
should.
mean?
Yeah, they should.
Like a subdivision, how do you know if there's enough water for 20 houses in an area that's,
So in Wilbraham, where they're supplied with water.
oh yeah, that's different.
No, it's
Townwide.
not. They have to make sure
It's
that the mains are big enough.
Yeah, but I mean, is the pressure and everything, because everything's wells here, right?
No, we have a water district.
The water districts.
In other words, it goes down Main Street. Yeah. So that's just a question. That's why I asked, that's a question that I'm asking. If everybody, let's say, I think there's 12 houses now, probably going to be 17 or maybe 18 eventually. If everybody puts an ADU in, now there's, yeah.
36.
Whatever. Is it going to be a problem? Don't know. I don't know. That's the question for somebody else.
Mhm.
Okay.
There's a lot of questions.
Do you want to quickly just go through Munson's? It's pretty much the same.
I think the Wilbraham one was a little bit,
More robust.
Okay. So maybe the next time we meet, we'll have some better ideas.
I think it's, right in the Munson one, it says right up front, they're allowed as a matter of right. That comes, it's very clear
You got it.
where maybe it's not as clear
It's not,
in the Wilbraham.
it's not, and you're right. This is one that,
where in the Wilbraham were you doing that?
So like right here, as you look at
No, I saw it in Munson, but
Yeah.
we're in Wilbraham where you're saying it's not as clear.
I just don't,
no, that one,
it talks about the purpose.
Oh.
It talks about the
Oh, oh,
bylaw, it probably says it under the reference there, but it's,
Right.
Mhm.
We're gonna have to amend our table. So basically, I'm gonna ask R4 and R6 are the only places you want to allow ADUs.
Correct.
Good.
Answer. Can we move, can we table the other two till next,
Say that again.
table the other business till next meeting,
What's the other business?
battery storage and
Oh, yeah,
zoning bylaws.
yeah, I'm just, yeah.
I know, I appreciate, I'm just exhausted.
Have we, have we got anything from? Maybe we can look at Joanne grabbing battery storage from other towns.
I do. I already sent them out once. I have them
Oh,
on
you did, okay,
top for 2 towns.
all right,
Yeah,
yeah, no worries.
those I have.
Yeah.
We'll do minutes when David's back.
Oh, okay.
I'm okay with that. Anything else?
Never called him Dave.
Motion to adjourn then?
So moved.
All in favor?
No, David, no. Did you read your kids that book?
I think Hudson hired people.
Infamous reasonable condition, right?
Oh, yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
Reasonable, here